In recap, we have discussed some of the major threats to public health and to the public health institution. We've also discussed some of the basic marketing principles, like the 4 Ps. Now we'll talk about the challenges with marketing health. You may ask yourself, what are we actually marketing when it comes to public health? The answer is social change. So what is social change? It's the process of creating changes in social, physical, and economic environments, enabling people to enjoy better health. Also, to make the healthy choices the easier choices for people, and also focuses on changing society, not actual individual behavior. A key element of marketing involves the exchange process. In traditional marketing, somebody gives up money to get a product of value that they think is worth the money they are giving up. And oftentimes we see these products as fairly unhealthy products. In public health marketing, we see that somebody is giving up something of value and pleasure to get health. Oftentimes it's giving up those things that are marketed in traditional marketing like soda, pizza, time to read nutrition labels to gain something that you don't see for many, many years, such as the prevention of cardiovascular disease. These exchanges happen at the societal level. Society gives up money in the form of tax dollars and other public resources so the government can pay for healthcare for uninsured and food and shelter for the poor. We also see the government using those tax dollars to impose and enforce regulations with environmental health regulations on corporations, consumer product safety, and professional guidelines for health practitioners. This ends up protecting everybody in society. As mentioned previously, social change is the primary goal of public health institutions. Social change may not be tangible, but it's a product in marketing terms because it's believed to be a product that will satisfy the human desire for health. Here are 3 unique challenges to marketing social change. There's an unfavorable state of individual and societal demand for social change. There's also a hostile environment and limited marketing training of public health practitioners.
It's said that there are 8 states of demand. Typical products fall into the first 5 of these levels: full, overfull, faltering, latent, or irregular. However, public health products tend to fall into the negative or no demand or unwholesome demand categories. We're going to focus on those categories that public health products tend to fall into: the negative demand, no demand, or unwholesome demand. When the public doesn't like the product you're offering, it's said to be in a negative demand. For example, if the public doesn't like vegetables, they're in a negative demand, so it's harder to sell them. Try thinking of a social reform policy with the same concept. When products alternative to the healthy products we're trying to sell in public health are in demand, it's known as an unwholesome demand. For example, things like alcohol and tobacco tend to fall into this category. When the public is simply uninterested in the product, it's said to be in no demand. For example, programs to provide job training to the homeless are not in demand. There's simply not a great demand for policymakers to address the needs of the homeless in the first place. They tend not to be a large voting population, and other members of society don't tend to advocate strong for the needs of that population. A hostile environment is another key element of our marketing challenges. Public health officials are constantly trying to convince people to eat healthy or not to start smoking, despite the industry spending billions on the opposite mission. For example, firearms are a leading cause of death among young people, yet we're unsuccessful in trying to convince Congress to pass policies that help prevent such rates. However, the NRA spends $8 million a year to ask legislators to vote against anything restricting production, sale, or use of firearms. The final challenge we'll look at is lack of training. The capacity of public health professionals to market social change is limited by a few factors regarding advocacy. First, there's an inadequate emphasis on the advocacy role of public health professionals, there's limited expertise, and there's a lack of training of students in advocacy skills. Ultimately, as new grads and students, you have a responsibility to be leaders for the disadvantaged and an advocate for health. In summary, we need to be more creative and figure out how to market health in this unfavorable and hostile state.
Free created using Powtoon.